Hi, I'm Jackie Partridge from Jackie Partridge Art. Today we are going to be doing a stencil painting that I'm going to be gifting to my nephew. I've done some stencil painting tutorials in the past, so I will be sure to link to those in the description of this video. So you'll need a canvas. This is a stencil that I bought on Amazon called You Are My Sunshine, and it came in a pack of a bunch of different stencils. So there's lots of great stencils at art supply stores or Amazon you can purchase. I have some painter's tape. This is a special stencils brush that I got at Michael's. I have a flat 1-inch brush, a number 6 round brush, and a small brush for details. And then I have a bunch of different acrylic paints, and you can use whatever colors you would like to use. So to start this painting, we're going to go ahead and paint our background. And we're going to do 2 coats of our background. I'm using a light blue. You could use whatever color you want, and I will link my backgrounds painting video in the description of this video as well, so you can check out some different styles or types of backgrounds that you could add. So once you've added a couple coats of paint to your canvas, you can go ahead and let that dry before we start adding our stencil to our painting. All right, so we're going to go ahead and paint our clouds at the bottom now that our sky is done. So I'm using a dry round brush, a number 6, and I'm just gonna let part of the blue shine through. I'm going to link a couple of cloud painting tutorials in the description of this video, so you can be sure to check that out. I'm going to have parts of the clouds be a little bit thicker and some parts kind of more wispy and transparent, so it's nice to have a dry brush with no water on it. You can work from a picture if you want to, or you can just kind of start painting if you feel comfortable like I do. Make sure you paint the edges of your canvas as well. I'm also going to mix in a little bit of black as well. So once you're happy with your clouds, we can go ahead and let that dry before adding the stencil over top. So now that our sky and our clouds are done, we're going to add our stencil. This is a stencil that I found online on Amazon. You can also check your local art supply store. I'm just going to use some painter's tape to secure our stencil in place at the top and bottom so that it doesn't move around. I'm using a stencil brush. This is by Martha Stewart and I picked it up at Michael's. You can find these online as well. So I'm just going to mix some yellow and a bit of orange to do our stencil. And I'm not adding too much paint. You can kind of dab it off. And I'm just dabbing it in. Some parts are going to be a little bit darker. Here I'm just going lightly. Adding some orange in some parts. So we're going to let that dry and then we'll remove the tape and do any touch-ups that we need to do afterward. Now that our paint has dried, we're going to peel off the stencil. So very carefully, you can peel off the painter's tape, and the reason we use painter's tape is so that it's not damaging our canvas. And with stencil painting, sometimes the paint will seep through or smudge a little bit. So you might have to do some touch-ups, which is okay. So it looks pretty good, but we will need to do some touch-ups. So just use a fine tip brush and just wet it a little bit, and we'll use the same color of our blue. To just touch up around the letters and any other areas that need touched up. So now that we have touched up the stencil part, you can add any other final details or touches to your painting. Now we can just add any more details or clouds that we want to add. I'm just using a dry brush to add a little bit more texture in here. And you could even choose to outline your stencil in a Posca pen, which I might decide to do that later just to kind of make it pop a little bit more, but that is completely optional. So I think I'm going to let that dry and then add the Posca pen outline to it afterwards. Just gonna add a few more clouds up here. Dry brush. So there we go, I'm going to let it dry and then add a Posca pen outline and then the painting will be done. Alright, so I have decided to add a Posca pen outline. So I'm using white and this is the 0.9 to 1.3 millimeters. So I'm just going to outline it and show you what that looks like. Again, I will link to my painting with stencils tips tutorial and my other stencil tutorials in the description of this video. If you haven't used a Posca pen, you can check out my Posca pen tutorial in the description of this video. So there is our outlined version of the stencil. I think it just makes it look nice and polished and make the writing pop. Posca pens come in a bunch of different colors, so you can use whatever color you would like. If you like this video, make sure to like it and subscribe to see future videos. Thanks for watching. Happy painting. Bye.